over and have a little discussion on the prospects of businesses in 2019. I'm basically talking about technology this time, and I want us to see the role of technology in as far as business is concerned. And to help us understand this or put all this into perspective, I do have George Njuguna. George Njuguna is the CIO of HF Group. He is in studio with me. Basically, this is what I'm talking about. Since the beginning of the year, a behavior of activities has been experienced in various sectors, and more so because of what technology has disrupted the way we do no business to be. Now, Njuguna joins me here in studio. Karibu sana to studio, Njuguna. And just to begin, maybe, we would like to look at 2018 in perspective before we jump into 2019 and see how things are. In your opinion, and I'm being told that you were voted as one of, what was that again, if you could remind me?
CIO of the year 2018.
All right.
Out of about 550 participants from East Africa, companies that had demonstrated some form of expertise and excellence in the way they utilize and integrate technology to move their businesses forward.
All right. So what is it that CIO looks for in the awards? What's the criteria that picked you from among your peers?
Essentially, our industry has been going through a lot of challenges, especially since the enacting of the rate caps, kind of the downward spiral in terms of real estate. And the role I played really was to lead the transition of HF from being a real estate mortgage institution to become a digital financial services player. We're able to do that through a new mobile platform called HF Wiz. And perhaps it was one of the first times where a CIO took the lead in terms of business, and not just being somebody who's taking instructions, but actually defining the roadmap, the key deliverables, and actually getting the solution to market.
All right. I was asking him that so that you do have an idea of who I am talking to. He is a leader in this sector, having been feted by CIO. Now, let's take a look at 2018 in as far as disruption in terms of ICT to businesses. How big was it? And I know for instance, it's really impacted the banking sector. I don't know about other sectors.
Absolutely. I believe 2018 was actually a year where everybody was trying to have some form of product or solution out in terms of a mobile phone, some form of an app, some changes in the back office, whether it's on CRM, things like chatbots that would enable faster offering of services to consumers. So 2018, I believe people began, even who perhaps viewed technology as a nice to have in other industries other than ours, perhaps like insurance, begin to see, no, you cannot stay away from technology, and not just using it for things like back office processing, but utilizing technology for critical things like interactions with customers, as well as allowing customers to initiate their own transactions, give you feedback, and be able to engage with you much more quicker, sooner, at their own convenience and not at the convenience of the organization.
All right. We're going to get into basically HF Group in just a short while, but I still want to dwell on 2018. And aside from banking, which other sectors did we see innovation in technology really disrupt the way we do things? I know sectors like retail were really impacted.
No, retail for sure, quite some exciting things. Large retailers like Naivas and Tuskys moved into online stores, and consumers are able to go there, shop, as opposed to be able to go to their local shops. Now, some of the insights I got from interacting with some of their executives is those stores are actually pushing way more sales than their traditional stores, and they're looking to do more and more in that area. Now, how I see that moving in 2019 is being able to ensure that customer can get fulfilled end-to-end, including the finance part there. So if perhaps a customer does not have enough money to be able to complete the purchase of what they want, being able to see a way that they can attract a loan to be able to fulfill that request. So that was in the retail sector. I believe also in terms of social media really picked up. lots of different people being able to communicate across multiple platforms at the same time. And now the emergence of even awards in that area, the emergence of new personalities who are able to command quite a bit. So with the proliferation of technology in everything we do, you now have, I guess, even journalists finding themselves competing for even business news with other people who are perhaps faceless, but are able to attract a lot of facts, connect them using technology to their blogs, to their channels, and be able at times to even launch their own shows. So I believe there's not a single sector that can say they're not. In manufacturing, got to listen to Vimal Shah talk in Naivasha last year. I was in a breakfast with him, and he's talking about the way they're looking to meet the needs of the consumer directly without the retailers by use of technology.
All right.
So I believe every single sector is feeling the impact.
I'm sitting here listening to you talk, and you're touching on all sectors. You've even touched on media, and I'm just wondering, should I be scared that probably I could lose my job? Because in a couple of years, perhaps, there will be no need, maybe, for me to sit here and give you stuff. I mean, there will be information on demand, all right? News on demand. It happens now, you get it on Twitter. It happens now, you get it on Instagram, on all these things. Why then would you need to wait for Tony Timasa to come on air at 9 p.m. to give you news?
Well, I get this question a lot when I talk about things like artificial intelligence, where machines are taking some standard and routine tasks and doing them way better than humans and faster. But I believe what will happen is organizations that are bright will start investing in upskilling their staff members to do things that are a bit more complex, that machines can't do, things that require human touch, a read of emotions. I believe such an interaction and an interview cannot be done by a machine. Something will happen, maybe in the way I twitch or turn, or a word I say, that it might take a machine maybe a bit more time to learn and figure out exactly what that conversation is going. So intuition as well as human touch and emotion are things which human beings are still going to be way ahead in terms of doing. But I believe organizations, when it comes to things that are mundane, routine, repetitive, if you're in that type of a job right now, you should be looking to step up in terms of your skills and training. And right now, technology, again, has enabled people to learn through videos on YouTube, through various channels where you can actually learn a complete skill and actually become competitive, like I believe one of our javelin athletes. So I'm sure it's the same with even technology. I've learned certain technology skills by just going and enlisting on online courses just to keep myself up to date. I entered technology in 2001. And there's a lot of millennials and younger people coming into the workforce. I still have to keep myself up to date. But I believe technology offers you the capability to learn so much faster, so much information. A statistic I was getting was that 90% of all the data in the world was just generated last year. Which means even if somebody says they knew everything since time immemorial, you can pack all that in just one year, and you can be able to learn it.
All right. Thank you for reassuring me that my job is intact for now. Yes. I hope that continues for a while. Now, let's talk about, there's always this talk that internet penetration in Kenya is way above its peers in the region. And we've seen lots of hubs, incubation hubs coming up. I don't know if, from where you sit, if you've had interaction with some of these hubs, and if you could mention some of the technologies that have come out of the country that are really worth talking about.
So essentially, we have like the iHub. The last place I got to interact with a group of developers and just to talk about the way they can work with us in terms of getting HF Wiz to be the leading digital financial services platform. And what you pick up is everything that you think is being done by a conventional business, somebody somewhere is developing it in this country. Things like HR systems. I met a gentleman who's done a simple system. He says it's for SMEs, it's for smaller corporates, and has a lot of clients and is growing. Very small outfit, 2-3 people, and they're able to do a lot in terms of business. So I believe when most of it, though, is coming from, I would say, software development as an area, not so much infrastructure. But I was quite excited to noticed a company that's actually what has gone into hardware in terms of developing actual servers and equipment so that they can offer a cloud out of Kenya. But a lot of what's happening in the hubs is more of software development, solutions that are being made for apps, being made for internet type of services, and they're getting them out there. But what I believe needs to happen, because I had an opportunity a few years ago to visit Silicon Valley and see the way they do it. It's not just the technology companies that need to be in these hubs. You need to be able to bring in industries like health, like financial services, like insurance, like anything that is offering a service to a customer, as well as the financial part and the investors, all need to come together, because the conversation is not just about developing lots of technology, but it's actually sorting a human problem, sorting something that you can then commercialize and make money for yourself, but be able to solve that need. So I believe as we continue to advance, we need to find that ground where all these come together, not just the technology, but the demand side, which comes more from the corporates, both in the private sector as well as the public sector.
Right. I want us to look at 2019 just a short while, but I want to go to HF Group, and you've been as head of probably as CIO at HF Group. If you could indulge me, how have things changed in the way you do business in the banking sector? And here we're talking about how technology has been able to change banking services.
Well, essentially, it's moving from being able to fulfill a customer's needs at when the bank wants to when the customer demands. It's moving from being able to break down services and products that were complex and configured for financial services to the consumer. So like right now, we believe that we're able to make a lending decision faster than anybody else. We do it in 7 seconds. And we're offering loans up to 30,000, 50,000, even without you being able to deposit anything. You're able to open an account a fully fledged account in less than 5 seconds. And you get your account number. You're able to initiate a deposit into that account from your M-Pesa by never going onto the M-Pesa menu, but actually going right on the app. So we are giving the consumers what they want, and we moved more from not an internally focused development capability and design, but more from a end-user focused design. And that's really helping us meet the needs of our customers. I'm quite happy to see, since we launched the platform, onboarding over 300,000 new customers to an institution that over 52 years had barely hit 100,000. So, and that's the power of technology. We only have 22 branches, but we have customers all over the country and all over the world indeed. At times when I look at the analysis of what's happening in terms of a heat map dashboard, I'm able to see pockets in Russia, pockets in Eastern Europe, pockets in Western Europe, South America, that are actually accessing the app and using it. So it's being able to do something much quicker, much faster, much more pronounced and effective at a much quicker pace than traditionally, but not losing the focus on the user, the end user who wants to access this service.
All right. Let's try and predict the future, 2019. Yeah. And to do this, again, I'd like to take you back to the past and what we've seen. We've seen the likes of transportation being made easy with your Uber apps and stuff. We've seen Netflix changing the way we consume videos. We're seeing banking really transforming. I want you to tell me if you will predict the death of brick and mortar in the banking sector. We've seen Airbnb changing the way holidays are being booked now. What is the one big innovation we are most likely going to see in 2019?
What I believe we're going to see in 2019 that's going to be quite disruptive is actually the more and more prominence of machines through machine learning, artificial intelligence, and chatbots in terms of our interactions with organizations. So organizations, I believe it may have started with a rough patch, not easily recognizing some of the natural language. I believe some of those bugs are going to be fixed, and we're going to see more and more things that as we said, were being done by people, being done by machines. And we're also going to see in Kenya more people moving into that sector in terms of developing those type of solutions, feeding them data, because all of these highly, highly depend on data. And I believe data, more than anything else, is going to gain a lot of respect in 2019. I mentioned that 90% of the data globally was just produced last year. But what will surprise you is research has shown only 1% is being used effectively by businesses. So if we can move from that 1% to 5%, it's going to make a very big difference. As much as we've seen disruption like in the transport sector, there's still some kinks that need to be addressed. And I said, I believe it's on that human touch and interaction perspective. Sometimes you'll call a vehicle, it doesn't come. Sometimes you hear unfortunate things have happened. So how can technology be used to deter such things, to feedback and improve the software much better? But more so I see in financial services, in insurance, in retail, in manufacturing, anybody who's involved in a service or any kind or touching a customer, utilizing their data to make better decisions, but actually offer the customer better convenience, better pricing, and even a better experience by what they learn from them. So 2019 will be the year that AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, chatbots on a very strong base of data begins to take prominence on our country and in our continent.
All right. George Njuguna, thank you very much for finding time to come and talk to us.
Okay.
All right. We're speaking to